A judge today there in New York denying Diddy's bid to delay his upcoming sex trafficking trial by 2 months. The district judge there, Judge Subramanian, said the hip-hop mogul made his request too close to his trial. Jury selection scheduled to begin May the 5th. So this is going to begin before we know it here. Of course, we want to bring into the program friend of LiveNow, legal affairs journalist there in Los Angeles, Meghann Cuniff. She's been following all of this extremely closely, and she joins me. Meghann, good to see you, and happy Friday here. So this was quick, seemingly falling flat here. What were Diddy's lawyers trying to do?
You know, they wanted more time to address the new indictment against him that came down a few weeks ago that has a couple new charges. But specifically, they said there's an evidentiary issue involving victim 4, that they think that the government is purposely not obtaining information from her, some communications between her and Diddy, because if they did, they would have to release them to the defense. So they were telling the judge they're dealing with this issue and they need more time to address it. The judge said he didn't think that this issue was big enough or complicated enough to warrant such a delay like that. So right now, jury selection is slated for May 5th. Questionnaires going out before that, and they're expecting opening statements on May 12th.
Yeah, it is kind of mind-boggling to think that all this time pre-trial, Diddy has been in custody, in detention, since he was indicted and charged last September, and that's when I believe you and I last spoke about his team's efforts to get that massive bail package approved. They were ultimately unsuccessful here. How are you gearing up for the start of this trial? Obviously, we have jury selection May the 5th. I would imagine that jury selection would be quite arduous in such a high-profile case as this. What else are you watching?
It's interesting to see what they're doing with the pretrial motions regarding the evidence. In the months before this, we really haven't had too much of a window into the actual evidence against him outside of the video that everyone saw that CNN published of him assaulting Cassie in a Los Angeles hotel hallway years ago. And that video is, of course, central to the case, but it sounds like there's a lot of other information that's coming out in the filings that's a little bit piecemeal, because the attorneys are having to adhere to this protective order regarding the discovery in the case. So a lot of stuff is being redacted, but it's interesting to look at what else do prosecutors have? What else are they looking to put before the jury that they think is going to help move them toward a conviction? And we're getting more of a window into that through these pretrial motions that are coming in.
So let's talk about Diddy's legal team here. How are they preparing? What approach or strategies might that take? And who does it comprise? What do we know about that?
He still has the attorneys that he's had from the beginning, Mark Agnofilia, and then also Tenny Garagos, who is a Los Angeles attorney, Mark Garagos' daughter. They're on the case. There's Alexandra Shapiro from a firm in New York City, who has also been by Diddy's side for a long time. She's really involved in the civil cases and has even been in the civil litigation before the criminal case came about. So she was speaking in court today. But he also made a pretty high-profile, splashy addition recently. He added Brian Steele, who is Young Thug's lawyer in the YSL trial that wrapped up last year. But Brian Steele is based in Atlanta and has represented Young Thug for years, enough so that he has shout-outs and songs because of it. But there was a notice of appearance filed last week, or it was a motion for admission to the Southern District of New York, or to the case Pro Hoc, which is a standard for that. It was just approved, but it surprised some people that Brian would join the case, but he has the background for this he's experienced in federal court, he has experience in racketeering cases, and then he also has a really delicate kind of soft approach that he can take in examinations that I think could come in useful here. So it'll be interesting to see what exactly his role is in the trial.
Yeah, I mean, these are really, really big criminal defense heavy hitters here, to your point. I mean, can you draw a straight line from Steele's involvement in Young Thug to now Diddy here?
I think it's safe to assume that Diddy associates Brian Steele with Young Thug. We don't know the behind the scenes of how exactly it came about that they should hire him, but just given his prominent role in Diddy's trial, and then just some of the mentions that he's gotten in music. Drake has a song that mentions him pretty prominently recently. So I think it's safe to assume that the work that he did and the role that he took in the YSL trial that was so high profile has perhaps opened some more doors for him here. But he's also known in that area, the area where he practices, as being a good litigator. So he brings a lot to the table.
All right, Meghann Cuniff, as always, can't thank you enough. And I'm sure you're going to have quite a busy May ahead of you, as are we here on Live Now as we gear up for this trial. Meghann, have a good weekend.
Thank you so much. You too.
All right, in the meantime here, we do want to take our final commercial break of this hour. We'll see you in 2 minutes.